go under the Blacktail Trestle, and this goes all the way back to the glory days of Butte, when there was almost 100,000 people in the city of Butte, and there were 450 mines. In 1909, this trestle was completed, and one of the things that happened early on was Alexander Graham Bell came out, and they ran an electric train over this trestle.
A ghost town called Highland City, and never been here before, so we're not sure what the road entails, but this is it so far.
Highland City actually was founded in around 1860, somewhere around there, and it was a huge, bustling town. One of the things that there was a rumor that if you took your coat and threw it on the ground, the space that your coat covered, if you were to dig it up, would contain 100 ounces of gold. This area was loaded with gold. Loaded to the point where Highland City, even though it's at a very high elevation, miserable conditions, covered with snow, oftentimes long into the summer. There's records of it having 4 feet of snow on the ground in July still. So it gives you an idea of the sort of territory that this was in. It was very rough territory. The other thing is there was no law in Highland City. Highland City itself ended up having 300 houses, probably 5 or 6 bars, I think they said, 3 hotels, and blacksmiths, and a brewery, and no church, not a single church. That was one thing that they said was a distinguishing marker of Highland City. Highland City was considered almost like a twin city to also another city in the area known as Red Mountain City. About 3,000 people lived here, a very dangerous town. Besides not having a church, there was a lot of problems with a lot of unlawful things happening, to the point where one of the roads coming in got to be known as Bloody Bone Trail Road. And the reason was people that didn't want to mine would just wait for the prospectors to come out along the trail, and they would shoot them and kill them and take all of their gold as they went to buy supplies or leave the area. And they just left their bodies rotting on the ground. So there was always dead bodies rotting along this area. In fact, there was a man by the name of Coyote Bill from Virginia City who came along this trail, and apparently he decided to dig a grave for one of the bodies. And while he was digging the grave for the body, he found gold. And so you can guess what happened. The 2 guys that were with him killed him and started taking the gold. He also is said to have Montana's first brewery in the whole state. And a very popular drink that's known worldwide actually started here, called the Boilermaker, which was half whiskey and half beer, something like that. Anyway, that happened right here in Highland City, is where that tradition started. Highland City took their dancing very seriously. In 1867, they had advertised to the surrounding communities that they were going to have a community-wide dance and partying for 2 or 3 days. Mother Nature decided to drop a whole bunch of snow on them. Everyone canceled everything they were doing, and they dug out the road. This is in 1867. They dug out the road for 6 miles to clear the snow so that people could come to the dance. They were not going to have the dance thwarted by feet of snow. In later years, as they've done excavating to kind of figure out what happened, because most of the city is gone. I mean, let's face it, the 300 houses are gone, all the businesses. There's only 2 or 3 buildings standing still that are identifiable. But as they went to the cemetery and they went through this different stuff, they found a lot of different things. One of the things they said is there was no Chinatown. And it was said that the Chinese, and no matter what race or anything you were, if you were in Highland City, Montana, a man was a man was a man was a man. And if you worked, you got the same amount of pay. If you dug gold, you got to keep your gold. And everybody just kind of lived together. And they said that was really unique. Usually they would even have a Chinatown or something like that. Even if there were Chinese workers in town, they would separate them out. But they didn't do that at Highland City. Or Every mine shaft going into the mountains around Highland City had a bend in them. And this was because of the lawlessness. Apparently, if you were in working, there were so many people who wanted to rob mine because there was so much gold. They would sit outside your mine across the valley and shoot bullets in the entryway until they thought you were dead, and then they would go in and start taking your claim. So all of the mines, when you went in, you'd go in about 6 feet, and there would be a bend, and then it would go in, and that was so that nobody could shoot you from outside of the mine. They would have to come into the mine and risk being shot if they were going to claim jump your mine. On our way in, we came by this rib cage, an elk cage, but the interesting thing is there was a badger's den right near it, and the badger was out. We'd never get a picture of him, but you can tell he probably dragged that carcass down the hill. He was a fat badger.
Some people say a man is made out of mud. A poor man's made out of muscle and blood. Muscle and blood and skin and bones. A mind that's weak and a back that's strong. You load 16 tons. What do you get? Another day older and deeper in debt. St. Peter, don't you call me, 'cause I can't go. I owe my soul to the company store.
Says Highland Cemetery.
One of the graves that was taken care of the longest was taken care of by a man by the name of Johnny Kern. And there was a Russian woman who had managed to come to town, and she got named. She was a dancer. Her name was Shotgun Liz. She also was the lawmaker in town for a while and is accredited to killing at least one, possibly two, lawless men. The other thing to say about that is the current fence around the graveyard is incorrect. So apparently there was a white picket fence around the graveyard, and somebody long after the town collapsed got tired of the white picket fence and ripped it down. And the Boy Scouts came back years later and built the wooden fence that's around it now to try to put some sort of marker around where the graves were.
I was born one morning when the sun didn't shine. I picked up my shovel and I walked to the mine. I loaded 16 tons of number 9 coal, and the straw boss said, well, to bless my soul, you load 16 tons. What do you get? Another day older and deeper in debt. St. Peter, don't you call me, 'cause I can't go. I owe my soul to the company store. I was born one morning, it was drizzling rain. Fighting and trouble are my middle name. I was raised in the canebrake by an old mama lion. Can't no high-toned woman make me walk the line. You load 16 tons, what do you get? Another day older and deeper in debt. St. Peter, don't you call me, 'cause I can't go. I owe my soul to the company store.
I know what you say. This is. All this water runs in, but nothing comes out. Quite the hole back in here. One foot after the other. Straight line. You can do it.
This was quite the accomplishment for Catherine, who was both suffering from dizziness and she's also legally blind. So crossing this was a pretty successful thing for her.
Hey. Not sure what they were doing. There's all sorts of piping back here. They diverted this creek coming down into, it looks like a giant sluicing sort of operation. Here you see some gates that they had set up. And the rock, and then it looks like they had some sort of crane in there. They did a lot of dredging at some point down in here. What do you think?
It's cool.
It's cool.
Yeah.
Well, I think we're gonna go find our camping spot for the night. It's a cool little trip in to see this ghost town. We're gonna get back up on top because we got more stuff tomorrow.
If you see me coming, better step aside. A lot of men didn't, a lot of men died. One fist of iron, the other of steel. If the right one don't get you, then the left one will. You load 16 tons, what do you get? Another day older and deeper in debt. St. Peter, don't you call me, 'cause I can't go. I owe my soul to the company store.
Thanks for joining us in this video, and it's always fun to go through these areas and think about their past, their history, how the road got there, what it was all about. Yeah, you're more than welcome to join in and continue to watch these adventures as we go to these towns and stuff. We'd love to have you subscribe. We'd love to have you like. We'd love to have you share it. And just enjoy history.